Hey guys, the next album that I want to make in my ultimate DIY scrapbook printable template is the standard envelope album. And it does have its own covers. It's on page 38, but these are the envelopes, by the way. I've already put a bunch of them together. You'll see all this in a different video, but I tell people all the time to think outside the box. Well, I was putting my scraps in one of these glassine bags, and I thought, I bet you those envelopes will fit in that glassine bag. So I stuck it in there, and I thought about it for a while, and I thought about it for a while, and I thought, I love that. That looks awesome. So I'm going to have to trim this down a little bit, but what I discovered was that page 12 would be the perfect cover for those. Like I said, I'm going to have to trim down this. I'm going to need this. So I'm going to have to trim down the end of the glassine bag, but page 12 or even page 13 would work. It's just got more room on top and bottom. So if you wanted to put tags and stuff in, like have pockets going in or whatever, you could use page 13. And then I decided I was going to use my bind it all, so I'm going to use rings, so I'm going to punch holes over here. And then I thought, well, okay, now what kind of covers do I want? I am using a paper line. It's a Valentine's paper line, and it's from Blue Fern Studio. Let me move it. It's from Blue Fern Studios, and I get it at Blue Moon Scrapbooking. That's the place I get it. They're really nice folks over there. But it's called Blush. And it's a new paper line, and it's so pretty. And it's got soft pinks and whites and greens and yellows and blues. And it's just really, 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 really pretty and soft. Well, it says shabby to me, so I decided I was going to do a little bit of a mixed media recycle type cover. So I'm going to start with the covers this time. Let me move all this out of the way. So I'm going to start with this page, and I'm going to use, this is a piece of cardboard, corrugated cardboard. I don't remember where exactly I got it from, but I tore off some of the backing. I'm sure it was in like a package of something. I tore off some of the backing, and what I want to do, let's see here. How do I want my, I really want it to go there. I've already cut a couple out. I've been experimenting. Oops, sorry. Gotcha. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down on my corrugated cardboard on the back side that I haven't tore up already. It's probably better if you tear it up after you do this part, and then I'm just going to trace page 12 out and cut it out. I'm going to use the long, what do you call that? Tim Holtz long scissors, tonic. They were tonic, right? Yeah. Long blades, long hand, I don't know what they're called. They're just really big. And it cuts right through it. I'm sure my paper trimmer would too. But I've already started working on this, so I apologize. I didn't even think to start recording it. I was just playing around, but I loved the end result. So I'll show you. So I'm just doing this one right here so that you can see how I did to this point. I'll show you. I already did the back cover. So the back cover looks like this. And there's doilies, and there's layers, and there's gesso, and there's ink, and it's just real shabby looking. And I've already punched the holes. I wanted to make sure that my bind it all would go through all those layers. And then this is the back cover. So then this is the liner, and it's just plain. Just ripped it up a little bit. So the cover, I've already started the cover, but I'm going to show you how I got to this point on the cover in the first place. So like I said, I just cut that out. Let me get something to protect my surface here. And then I'm going to use some gesso. This is just acrylic gesso. And I put it in another container that I keep on my table. This was actually I'm pretty sure it was like a body butter from Bath and Body Works. I'm pretty sure. And then just any old brush. Mine's damp a little bit, and so you just want to like do the edges. I'm going to hold it up a little bit so I can see. So you just want to like go over the edges just to give it that little bit of a shabby look. I printed off all of my envelopes with the original color, the default color, the brown. So after I do this, I'm just going to take some ink and barely go over the edges. So you want to do this to both sides, and then you want to dry it. So I'm going to dry it real quick. Be right back. Alright, I got it dried. I meant to tell you a minute ago that I will definitely put links to the bags. I'm almost 100% positive I got them at Paper Mart, but I'll put a link to this size bag if you want to make this exact size album. You can get them in different quantities, so I think the more you buy, the cheaper they are. Just keep that in mind. Alright, oop, I thought I had it dry. Well, apparently I didn't have it dry. Let me make sure it's dry. This is just a baby wipe. And then I'm using archival ink and coffee. I need to get me another one of these for my YouTube videos. Remember, I've got one in black. That's my YouTube video one. And then you just want to barely go over the edges. I hope I'm not getting paint on my thing. Oh well. Like this. And then to make it even more shabby, I'm going to use my Prima Distress tool from Ingvild Bowman. I don't know how to say it. But it's got this distress blade right here, so I'm just going to take it and just gently run over the edges just a little bit, just so they're not perfectly straight. So when you're done, this will look like this on both sides, except one side won't be corrugated. So that's how I got to the point where I'm at now, which is right here. So see, I'd rather have the corrugated going this way, but since I'd already cut up a couple pieces. So I'm gonna set that one aside. So I've done both sides. See, this one doesn't have the corrugated part, but I did the gesso and the ink. And then I've got this side. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take that same page 12 and I'm going to cut some pieces out for the cover. I've already cut one for the front, just one of the layers for the front, and it's going to go right here. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to cut the liner out and I'm going to show you how I did that. See, I've even put me a note. Let's see. Let's use, will this work right here? Yeah, let's use this piece right here. I'm just going to lay my template down. Trace it out, again, page 12. Alright, so with this, since I want it to be a smaller, I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch, well, somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch away from that line I just drew. Probably more like 1/8 of an inch because, let me get my thing out so we can see. So this is going to be my liner. So maybe just a little bit more of this bottom part here. And then, let's test it real quick. Yeah. So then I'm going to take the same distress tool and rough up every edge. Now, Blue Fern Studios cardstock is really, really, really thick, which can make it challenging when you're folding envelopes and stuff. But that's kind of, I like the whole shabby chic look, so it kind of lends itself to that because, like if you look at the envelope, maybe you can see, maybe you can't. See how the edge, can you see how it's like just a little bit rough wherever I folded it? Well, that, you know, it just kind of lends itself to the whole look, so I like it. So I'm just going to rough these edges up. And I'm not worried if it tears. I like it like that. I may even purposely put a tear in it somewhere. Move this out of the way. So let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good. So I think I will purposely tear it in some spots just to give it some little extra something. Oh, that's going to be on the binding. You won't really see that. That's kind of square looking. So it's going to kind of look like that, and then I want to ink my edges just barely. You don't want to go overboard. And so this is just the lining, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach it down with Beacon Fabri-Tac. Use whatever glue you would like. I get questions about glue all the time, and it's just really a trial and error. The Fabri-Tac does not warp your paper, and depending on what type of paper you're using, I guess if you're using really thin, delicate paper, it's possible. But white glue will warp your paper, so just keep all that in mind. So, and then the Fabri-Tac also gives you a minute to move stuff around, which is nice. So I'm going to keep my liner simple. I'm just going to leave it just like that. It's so pretty. I just love the shabby look. Alright, so let's go back to the front. So I've already cut this piece out, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this one down. Maybe not. Maybe I'll wait. No, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down because I don't want to change my mind. Same thing. I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac on there. And just line it up. And I cut this piece out the same way I cut out that liner. Except this one's a little bit, looks like I didn't cut as much off, but that's okay. Okay, so I know some things that I want to use in my album. I know I want to use doilies, and I want to use this. It says Love Always. This is also from Blue Fern Studios, and it's called Love Always. I don't know if they still have them anymore. It doesn't have a year. I wonder if they ever put years on these things. But anyway, so it's just a chipboard piece. So I know I want to use this. And I'm going to have to poke all of these things out. And I've already cut another piece of cardstock that I was thinking I was going to use on my cover. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, the paper line has cut aparts that are really, really pretty, but I liked this chipboard piece here. Oh. I also got this one at Blue Moon Scrapbooking. They may have it, they may not. I think it was probably last year. I've been using a lot of stuff that I've accumulated over the years since I haven't done any more custom work, or since I don't do custom work anymore. So I've got all this extra stuff. But use what you have. It's just kind of the idea, the technique behind it, you know? So I want to use this, and this is the piece that I cut out from another piece of the cardstock. And I was thinking about layering it right here and having the Love Always right here, maybe doing some seam binding or something over there. Maybe having it like this. But I want to add some doilies too. So before I go too far, I've got some different doilies here. Let me move my thing out of the way here. I will also try to link to where I got these different doilies at too. I think you can get them in packs of 50s or packs of 100s or whatever. So I've got white ones, and then I've got some that I have sprayed over the years do into, oh, look at how fragile that one looks. Oh, goodness. That one looks like it's just going to tear up. All different colors, just playing around with different sprays. Obviously, some of them are going to be too dark and too bright. This might be a little too bright. So I think I'm going to stick with the browns. And I just used, most of these, I just used my ink sprays on. Some of them have a little bit of glimmer from different sprays. I don't know. But I keep them all in here so that they don't get lost. I don't want to throw them away. They could certainly be used for something like what I'm getting ready to do. So I'm going to pick out some, because I want to use them on the pages too. So I'm going to pick out a couple just in case. And maybe a couple white ones. Maybe in a smaller size. I don't know, we'll see. So I just want to have those out so that I can mess around with, that one might be too dark, what I want to do here. See, because I could put them, I can slide them, do some layering, you know, and have it sticking out all over, which is really cool. I like it. Yeah, I think that would be neat looking. Just have them random. Okay, I think I know what else I want to do. I'm going to go grab something. I want to use this India ink and copper plate gold. I've used it before. And I'm going to take this Love Always and I'm going to cover it with this India ink. What do you think? I like it. So I think I'm just going to shake it up and I'm going to use a brush. Oh, careful. Let's see what it looks like. I can always cover it up with gesso if I don't like it. So let's just see. I'm not going to be able to tell if I like it or not until it's dry. So let's just go ahead and cover the whole thing. Alright, I got that dried. Let's see what it looks like on here. Oh, that looks really cool. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. I might end up putting a little gesso highlights. I don't know, we'll see. If it doesn't look right, I can redo it, but yeah, okay. So I'm going to do that. What do y'all think? Maybe it's sticking out too much. Maybe I need to add some ink. Let's do that. Let me see about adding some ink to my doily here. Just a little bit. Just to dirty it up just a little bit. Add some ink to this. You know what I might do? I don't want to lose all my green. That looks kind of cool. I wonder, sorry about this thought process, I wonder if I give it another tear right here. I like that. That looks good. Now what about up here? I think I'm going to have to cut a little piece of this doily off and stick it up there. Since you don't need the whole thing anyway, I think it's needing it. I really do. Maybe I'll cut some of this off. Yeah, I like that. Alright, I'm going to start gluing. I'm going to start gluing some stuff down. I probably don't, yeah, I'm going to leave this as a whole doily. It's not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to stick this doily down. Maybe off center a little bit. down. All right, now I'm gonna stick this down. I like it a lot. It looks really cool. Look at how shabby that looks. I like it. So I'm not going to add this just yet because I want to go ahead and poke my my binder. What am I trying to say? My bind it all. I like it. That looks good. So I'm going to let this dry for a minute and then I'm going to see if it'll go into my bind it all. Okay, I let it dry for a few minutes and now I'm going to see if I can get it into my bind it all. Whoa, free. This is a Zutter bind it all. Oh, I better mark my center. I had a ruler out. Boy, I can hardly see on this ruler. That's awesome. Just gonna put a little dot there, and I'm gonna see if it'll slide in here. Please go in there. Ugh, barely. Aha! Woohoo! All right, it worked. All right, so now I'm gonna add. I want to add some seam binding too, though. I don't know if I want to add this color. Let me see what else I got. Okay, I think I like this green, and I'm thinking it's not the same as the ribbons on the cover, but I think it looks okay. I think it looks pretty good. This is just, let me grab it. It's behind me. This is just seam binding that I bought and crinkled myself. So it's this one right here, and it's called, yeah, I haven't a clue. Oh, I can't read it. Aqua? Something aqua? I don't know. But anyway, I'm sorry about that. I wish I could read it. So I think tying a bow, wrapping this around a couple times and tying a bow might be kind of pretty on the edge here. Because there's going to be, you know, those binder rings. Where's some any more than that? You know, wrapping it around a few times. Tying a bow. What do you think? You think it's the wrong color green? Let's see. The love always on there. Let's see. Let's see what the pink looks like. Pink probably isn't really going to show up. Well, maybe I won't be using seam binding. It doesn't really show up. Well, that's a little disappointing. What else do I got? Let me see. I'll be back. Okay. I've now got a dilemma. I think this is the wrong color green. I keep when I crinkle them, I roll them up on these old jewelry things that I keep, or packaging from anything, and I put them on a binder ring and I clip them up onto a shelf thingy that I have, just so you know. Maybe one day I'll show you all my, maybe. All right, I think that's too green. And the pink doesn't really show up. What about this blue? How would this blue look? That's pretty. Let's go with that blue. Let me wrap this green back up. So all I do is I cut end notches on each side and fold them in, and then that way I can wind it around kind of like a thread thing, you know, like a spool of thread. And then I cut a slit up here just to hold the end so that I don't lose it. And so this hole that's already there slips onto the binder ring just like that. So now they're ready when I need them. Alright, let me try this. I don't have very much of it. Let's just go ahead and take it all off. Now I can show you what I mean. See, I just cut slits, fold them in, just like that. And then that way there's a rounder edge, it's not so sharp. And then wrap it around. Alright, so let's try. I mean, I might not end up doing it at all, but just for a little something extra. Because I like soft, pretty, shabby. Like that, and then here's my love always. That looks pretty good. I might leave it. I might leave that, we'll see. Or should I do it this way? I'm sorry if I'm boring you half too silly. Alright. Maybe go across the top like this. I don't know why I think I have to go around twice. Oh goodness. And then tie a bow up this way. Let's see what that looks like. I can't decide. No, I don't really like it. Well, maybe I'll just wait. So I'm just going to hoe the end back here, and then I'm just going to loosely wrap it and just work my way up. Make sure I've got enough for my tail, and voila. Alright, so I think I figured out what I want to do. Well, I've already done it, so it's done. I went and got some cream or ivory seam binding that I crinkled, and I wrapped it like a package, like you would get like a special letter. See, it's like a love letter because, get it? These are, you know, in standard envelopes, you know, love letters. Yeah, oh, I like it. And look, I'm going to put these seals on each one of the ends so it looks like it's a special love letter. Yeah? This would be a great idea if you did save your love letters from when you were dating, or even if you're doing it now. Even if you're dating now, that'd be a great idea. That's awesome. I like that idea. Husband, my baby, you need to give me some love letters. Okay, so then I'm just going to add this on top. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the back. I'll do that real quick so that you can see how I did it. So here's my back cover. Here's my seam binding. I'm just going to unravel a bit. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go, how did I need to start here? I think I'm just going to start like this, and I wrap it around, and then I'm going to hold this end this way, and then I'm going to go this way, and wrap it around, and then I'm going to tie it right here. And now I know this isn't going to be the securest thing, so I'm going to take another piece. I'll show you. So I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to take another piece. I'm going to go underneath all of those layers. And then I'm going to just tie a double knot right here in the center. Bam. And then another, or not another, but tie my double knot. And then if it's too long, so it looks like that, right? So then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing to this crisscross section. I'm just going to slide it. And this way you can also slide stuff up underneath the seam binding. I'll slide it under there and just tie a double knot like that. Trim off any excess that I don't want. And it looks like that. I may grunge it up a bit just so that it looks like it's been around a while. Maybe even on top of the bows. Ooh, I might have tied that one a little too tight, but that's okay. Same thing back here. Yeah, I like it now. I like it a lot better. So, grunged up a hair, not grunged up a hair, you probably can't even tell. So I'm going to grunge this one up a hair too. So I think that's what all hubbies and wives should do, is start writing each other love letters and giving them to each other. And that way you can save them in your cool little glassine envelope journal. Yeah, now we got a purpose for it. Totally dig it. All right, now I need to add love always on here. Because I always write that when I would write notes and stuff when we were dating. I'd always say love always. I like it. Perfect. Alright, so how am I going to glue this down? I think I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac, I think maybe. I could use other glue, but I like that this is a little thicker. And so if it needs to, it can stand up a little bit. Oh, this is going to be tedious. Maybe not. Let me rethink that. That's not going to work. Maybe I'll just use multi-matte medium that I've put in a different bottle and just add it to the back here, and then I'll just have to hold it down. This will dry clear, so I'm not really worried about it seeping. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on here where I want it, right over top of everything. See, all kinds of glue seeped out, but I'm okay with that right now. If I have to, I'll take something pointy and probably didn't need to use that much glue, but I just want to make sure it sticks down, stays down. Alright, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll come back and show you exactly what it looks like. Alright, it's good enough now, dry. Looks good, right? I think so. I hope you think it looks good. Obviously, I covered up one of my bind it all holes. I'm just going to poke through it. Seam binding is very forgiving when it comes to stuff like that. So that way my ring can go in there. No big deal. So there's my front and back covers for the album that I'm going to get on to now and start to make. I just wanted to do the covers first. I was so excited. I got the idea and I just wanted to do this shabby look, and it just looks so perfect with the paper line. So I just thought I would go ahead and do the covers first. So I will just get on to making the rest of the album. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I will put direct links to the bags, to the doilies, to the paper line from Blue Moon Scrapbooking. It's Blue Fern Studios Blush, but I'll try to put direct links to, because I'm pretty sure they have it right now. And anything else I can think of, I will put a direct link below. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and I guess I'll see you later. Bye.